Okay, so I'm back now. I grabbed a few additional things. I did grab from my Pit Artist pen set 2 Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens. These can be purchased individually or in the sets. They're felt, they don't bleed through, they're rich and vibrant. I'm going to use this red for her lipstick. You can use whatever you have. Water-based pen, you can use a red pencil. You could use a red alcohol marker if you want. At least the background is black. On the other side, you won't see it too much since it's such a small space. But I always use almost my black Pit Artist pen for lots of things, lots of touch-ups and things. Okay. I wanted that bright poppin' red lipstick, and then I'm going to use the blue for that little star on her face. Couldn't find my purple, otherwise I would have done purple. There we go. And I'm going to come back with a little lighter color to do her eyes. I forgot to grab that. I also grabbed this. This is my Zig brush, gold and silver. I'm going to do her belt in the gold. It's a brush pen. I will link all of these products below, and I use the same products over and over, so if you pick up anything that I recommend or use, don't assume it's just a one-time use because I'll be using them over and over again. Some of the, like the silver and metal for jewelry and belts and dishes and ornaments, things like that, I use a lot. Okay, I got her belt done with that silver, and there's a little bit of her belt up here on the hat as well. You can do gold if you want. I'm doing silver. All right, that was really easy. So I want to go ahead and do the bushes. So I found some other greens we can use retrospectively. Paper is still bent because I caught it with my arm, so I bend it back down. So I added a couple colors. I added moss green and marine green, which we will do for the bushes. And I think we'll do the marine green first. So the marine green, I got mine all sharpened up, ready to go. This one is darker, and this is still going to work because I think these colors are going to work well in the swatch because we have these kind of greens and browns. So I didn't want to use the same greens I used on the grass. So into these bushes, let's just go ahead and kind of do what we did with the grass and squiggle in this green. Well, you see all these little squiggly lines. I'm going to do the little tips of it all the way up to the black. Kind of bring it down a little. Kind of softly go over those little bumpy areas. So again, we'll do the top. Bring it down a little. I'm going to just kind of color a little bit over. Make them in a pattern. All kind of connect. Or put those little ziggly lines there. Let's do one here. And over here. Okay. Good. A little more down. Let's get over here. Same thing. Squiggle in these little branchies. Then I'm going to go up around. Bring the color down, kind of. That way we give a nice layer to blend with the second green. Going on the top again. So going around the bottom and between the two, and then just kind of fluff that in. Okay, real easy. So then we'll go to the moss green next, and I'm going to wiggle this in with and around and over the other color. All right. Get right along the grass line, right under the tree there. Let's get over here. Around the base. Okay, and then I'll switch one last time back to the marine green. I want to add a little bit more here at the top. There we go. Okay. Dab in just a tad more of the moss, then we'll use the blender. Okay, now we'll use our Prismacolor Premier Colorless Blender that we gave a good workout to yesterday when I was doing the grass. That looks nice, and it has a little more yellow and brown tint in it, so it works nice in our color palette. It's not the same greens in this grass. A little bit of the yellow ochre we added to the grass, you can almost see some of that in the moss, but that's why it ties together nicely. These are good colors to use close to one another. Basically. All right, that looks good. Same thing over here. There we go. Okay. Get one right down here. Looks great. Looks really nice. Okay, so we're done with those two. And also done, well, oh shoot, we do have this little bush down here. I kind of want to put that in as a straight yellow because we don't have quite enough yellow from our palette other than what's going to be in the light and the moon and tinting the grass. So yeah, let's hold off on that. Let's work on the little leaves on the tree, and for the leaves we are using yellow ochre and crimson red, which we did for these ones on the ground. All right, we'll start with the crimson red. And what I did before is I kind of started at the point, the bottom, and I kind of went up on one side only. So you leave that white space kind of in the middle. So we'll start at the bottom, curve it along the edge of the leaf on one side. Okay. Then we'll put in that yellow on the other side. So bottom and then up one side. Bottom, up one side. A little trickier when you get to the smaller leaves. What matters is you get a little bit of each color in there. All right, so we got the bottom here. We'll go up this side. Bottom here, we'll go up this side. All right, go down. Bottom, up this side. Just up one side on these really narrow ones. A little bit up each side here. Down here, bottom and up one side. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, there's a few leaves right here. These little round leaves we'll do a dark green with later. All right, let's get the yellow ochre. I have to figure out how to bend this page back. I put some heavy books on it or something. Okay, the yellow ochre, we're going to blend into the white area and then into the red. And again, it'll make this kind of nice orangey color. Don't hesitate to use a lot of pressure. Okay, I like that because you kind of looks like it's over in the black sky. It's kind of splits. You can see yellow really well and that red. They look nice together. Probably want your pencil pretty sharp for this if you start getting into the more narrow ones, so keep that in mind. Don't want to go too much into that black sky. I'm already needing to sharpen mine. And also you can now see it coming together, how those leaves have similar colors that's in her dress, right? That kind of orange, blood orange, and on the ground. And then also the yellow in it, we can kind of see tinted in the grass and in the bushes, and then on this bush. So all this color palette will kind of complement one another within the picture nicely. All right. And I might go and touch up with my artist pen. Put a little more red in there. Little final details. Kind of a scenario. Sure, I got too much white showing on a few of these leaves up here. Let's get over here. Almost done. Got a couple. Use your brush for the crumbs. Okay, I gotta do one last sharpen for these little small ones so I don't go over too much into the road. Then we're gonna work on our tree. Ah, pushed too hard. That's what happens. I have my doll in a setting that might be a little too sharp. Missed a couple up here. In fact, I also missed putting the red into these two here. All right. I'll touch up with my artist pen on some of these a little later. Put some vibrance back in. We could take a little blender too, these bigger ones right here. I don't know if we really need it though. I don't think so. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our tree, and the tree, I have two colors for now, green ochre and light umber. I might want to grab the chestnut, just to have a tinge darker. So grab your chestnut also. Chestnut, where are you? There you are, okay. Grab your chestnut color. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, cream. There we go. There you go. I found my color card. Okay, so let's start with the chestnut. Now, what we're going to do in this tree, we clearly have some little green leaves I forgot about. We'll go back and get those at the end. Oh goodness, I just missed more of those red leaves right there. Ah! Missed a couple leaves, so I'm just going to, they're kind of camouflaged actually. You see these right here? You guys might have seen it, but it was a little bit camouflaged. Right here, there's a couple too, actually. Up here. Okay, woo! All right, now we're on the chestnut. So for the tree, and how we're gonna do this, make sure I'm all the way in the camera. Not sure you can all the way see. I think you can see well enough. So what I kind of do with the tree, we always, I mean, 2 colors is fine, 3 is better. We're gonna use the darker color to kind of start getting in some veins, which you kind of see already from the pencil lines of the picture, right? So by that I mean, we're gonna start up here. Basically gonna kind of go over them in some patterns. Kind of like we did with that broom. We're whisking things in. Just try to go the same direction as these tree veins. Be careful going around these little leafies. Leaves. I am an English teacher and I got that word confused. I love teaching art way better than I love teaching literature, I can tell you that. Although I do love my literature, but really did not enjoy teaching writing. No one can write anymore. It's so hard. It's so hard to teach writing when you don't have a natural skill for it, particularly. I've almost even thought about going back and getting a second master's in art. Maybe a grad certificate or something, just because I love what I do on my channel, and my goal is to get up to 5,000 subscribers. I'm over 2,000 now, and which reminds me I have to do my giveaway, the 2000th anniversary giveaway. All right, so you see I just kind of got all that in there. No particular rhyme or reason. Let's now do the light umber. And so we're going to kind of do the same thing. Weave in this color with the other, following the direction of these tree veins. Get some of these little branches. You're going to want a nice sharp pencil for this. Get up here. Gonna kind of just get into some of these spots around the leaves. I'm gonna kind of whisk it in around these leaves. I think in these leaves we're gonna do a very dark green. I might even have to use a pit pen, especially if we get any pencil on it, because I want them to really stand out. Okay, now let's get our green ochre, doing a slight green tint, which is a little unnatural, but it might look more like there's moss in it or something to that effect. It should look good. Once it's all done. So you don't see a lot of green. It's kind of like a greenish yellowish brown. It's kind of an ugly color, to be honest. Once we get enough pigment down, we'll tackle it with the Prismacolor blender. Alright, I had to pause. My lunch was done. So anyway, I don't mind if I get a little green on these round leaves, because we're going to do those in a dark green, but just keep getting in this yellow ochre. Well, actually it's a green ochre, but it's tinted yellow. Technically they call it green ochre. Wherever you don't see very much enough color, go over here and put some of that in. Try not to go too hard because then it bounces my light, because my table wobbles. And it's a round table, so it's got like a center part holding it up. It doesn't have like legs all around the sides. So when the table shakes, my camera shakes. Okay, so then let's grab the chestnut again, just a little chestnut. Some areas where you feel it's too light and you want to give a little more depth before we blend. Okay, then we'll do one more touch of the light umber. Then we'll start blending. I want to mostly get down here around these little leaves. Oh, that's the green, wrong color. And I got a flat end right now, but that's working well for blending, so I'm fine with that. And the point is to get the pencil pigment in here in no specific pattern, because, you know, if you look at a tree, it's going to have, you know, 20 different shades all woven kind of together, and then the light hits it and makes it look brighter or darker in certain spots, or it's wet, it looks different than in the dry areas. So you're kind of trying to make it look natural. Okay, my last touch of green ochre, real quick. If you don't have enough lead down, it's going to be harder to use the blender though as well. All right. Okay, so let's get, I'm going to sharpen it up. Oops. We got our Prismacolor blender. Let's just start on the bottom here. And table might shake, but I'm holding down the paper, starting at the bottom. See, now that I'm doing this, I can see that green ochre coming out a little bit. But I can also see the chestnut woven in and the umber, and it's not in any particular pattern, which is what we wanted. There you go. It's a little trickier when you have to go around leaves. Slows you down a little. Kind of weave it around the little leaves. One of the reasons I didn't do the little tiny leaves ahead of time is because I knew we would get some pigment and crumbs and stuff on it, and then it would just turn like a yucky color. So I'd rather put in a heavy marker, dark green, over it or any pencil that got on there at the end. All right, we're going up here all the way into these flowers. Ooh, all right. Okay, get a little shaken. I'm gonna go in hard here. Trying to move my wrist, not my whole arm, so it doesn't shake things so much for you. And I am still following the pattern of these veins that we put the color down on. I'm not going left to right, I'm trying to go down or at an angle. Put your whole hand in the middle of the paper if you need to. And this curling paper is something that can usually be fixed. Once you're done with your picture, you put it under some heavy books, maybe for a week or something, and then it'll go right back down to where it needs to be. All right. I'm holding it down. Getting fire notifications on my watch. We've got like 3 fires in the area. My Apple Watch keeps telling me they're getting closer. Yay. I'm in Oregon, so we get a lot of fires in the summer because there's so many trees and things. We get lightning, people do a lot of camping and hiking, and they don't put out their fires or they throw their cigarette butts. Always having trees burning down somewhere. It's real unfortunate, actually. There you go. Making a lot of crumbs. Trying to get our paper flat over here so I can get into this corner along the edge. Let's get up here. I'm going to pull this down. Pulling the paper down. Whew. I'm going to need to do a sharpen. After this tree, we really only have left the steps, the moon. We have the leaves, mostly details, little details. It's sharper so I can get around all these little guys here. Let's get up here. Picture I'll be working on next after this is Tales from the Witch's Cottage, also in Prismacolor. I'll be doing the actual Witch's Cottage. And we have some beautiful purples and blues that are going into that picture. It's going to be lots of fun. I'm excited to show it to you. That's one of the books I intend to complete fully in this Patreon. Okay, yeah, and if you look close, you see that green ochre kind of woven in there. So that was a nice finishing color that I threw in at the last minute. Going around these little leafy dudes. almost there. I'm getting up here. Might have to sharpen again. Yeah, I have to sharpen one last time. I can't get up in that area very well. Well, since I'm really sharp, let's just go around these little leaves here. Sorry, my camera's shaking. Anything left down here I missed? The trick is just to get your eyes in close, look for any white tooth on the tree you missed anywhere, which is very easy to do. Make sure you can tell what's a leaf and what's the paper. Or the blank paper, should I say. All right, I think this looks good. I get a little more right there. I've got two little leaves up there. Anywhere you see some of those red ones we forgot to do, just go ahead and grab your red and your yellow, put that back in. Looks like I forgot two right over here. Kind of blew off the tree, I think. A little more red right there. Okay, let's get the yellow ochre. Is that the only one? I forgot. I think so. All right. Well, anyway. So then I'm going to take my light umber. I might want to tap in a few more dark lines here. Anywhere you feel like you need a little more color definition. Okay, we're going to do this little bush down yonder here. I'm going to do straight up yellow ochre. You can see that or not, but it's this bush way down here in the lower corner. My camera almost cuts it off, but just do the whole thing yellow, except there's some little flowers kind of in the middle. You can go around those. I'm going to put some little red into there. This is giving us another nice little touch of the yellow because we don't have as much yellow from our palette on this picture that is on its own, not blended as undertones or whatever. There, so that yellow looks really kind of nice. Yeah, I like that. So then I'm gonna take my a red of choice. I'm gonna do my Tuscan red. It's that darker red to do these little flowers that are on top of this yellow bush. Because we only use Tuscan red on the church to outline it, but then we lightened it up by mixing it, so you can't see a whole lot of that darkish red. So that's what we're adding right here. I will try to lift this up and show you up close in just a minute when I'm done here. All right. Right there. That's real super simple. I might even want to do a little of that color on a leaf on the tree. Also, I'm going to do the evergreen, but I'm going to kind of do both. Let's do one leaf here. One leaf here. Let's do this little one that's on top of the black. One leaf here. Plus, it'll look nice with the brown that we got on the leaves. We'll do one here. One here. One here. All right. Pull this back down a little. So I'm going to grab, you can use a really dark pencil. You can use the same green we used in this bush down here if you'd like. I'm going to go to my Faber-Castell Artist Pen Set, pull out a nice dark green here. I'm not sure which one will be better, so we'll try two. Which one's going to show better? Well, I got two greens here. This is the Chromium Green Opaque. Let's do this one right next to it. It has a little more of a turquoise, dark phthalo green. Yeah, so that looks fine side by side. So we'll just do, but you see how you can go over the pencil and these are pretty vibrant. So it doesn't matter that you got pencil over these leaves. This rich color you get from a Pitt pen will go right over that, especially in small spaces. I don't use them a lot for big things, only little things. So I'm going to do both greens. Go down here. Okay, grab the other green. This has more of that moss color in it. Great. I think we've gotten all of these. Okay, I think I got most. I'm going to take that phthalo green. That one actually works to add in a few more little wisps onto the grass here. Where you see those squiggle lines kind of on top of the pencil. Gives it a little more realistic look to it. I would do some of this along the road. Yeah, and I'll do that over here too. Just like little flicks. A little bit here at the border around that other bush. You can do a little bit of this line where you want to differentiate the hills too, right here. Use your finger, just kind of rub it in a little. Because there is wax in the pencils, so this ink is really sitting on top of the wax. Because it can't really absorb into the paper. So you can usually smear it, or you can kind of let it dry. Could do that over here with this one too. This one's a little darker for the bush, but I think it'll help it stand out a little more. I'm telling you, these Pitt Artist pens, I've probably used the most for small details for my pictures for years. In fact, I don't even have the biggest set. I've been wanting it, but I have the second to biggest set, and they don't bleed. It works for makeup, for eyelashes, for little details like this, for small areas, putting bold colors on top of other colors, accents. Just things that will bring like your page to life a little. All right. They're just little details we like to finish things off with. A little more coming out onto the road right here. It's a good look. Halfway off the grass onto the brown. I feel like some of that grass is sticking off. Over here too. Be careful you don't press your wrist or your arm over this while it's wet, or it will smear, which is no big deal. You can then just use your finger and rub it in, which can give it some different shades, but I'm trying to make it remain like this. All right, put a few more of these on these leaves over here. Some good details. Okay, I am going to use my red Pitt Artist pen. Put a little bit more into these flowers, maybe around the edges. You know how we kind of did the side in the red, went to the bottom, and then we followed the edge. Just gonna kind of follow that edge with it. This really makes them pop out. There we go. There. Okay, like that. See how those kind of are popping out now? This is kind of an orangey red. This is pale geranium lake. It's not overtly red. There's like a little bit of that orange hue, which works nice for our leaves. Okay, we can get these ones down here on the ground. So I guess she's really more of an autumn witch. Maybe even a springtime witch. I mean, we have autumn colors here. But she's not that mean, nasty Halloween type witch. She's a pretty happy witch who likes to be outdoors. And looks like she's having her photo taken, so she's posing. All right, that's a nice little finishing touches there. And I might dab a little bit more of this on her lip. Wasn't quite dark enough with that first layer. Oh, I forgot a leaf right here. Your yellow ochre, if you forgot any leaves. Now I am considering, yes, that's already a black sky. I just kind of want to use my black pencil on it. It might make it pop out more. We do need to get these little tree branches over here. So grab your chestnut. This will be real quick and easy. Grab your chestnut. Stay. And we're going to get up here and stripe some of this down and up. All right, I'm just going to do this pretty quick. Grab the light umber. I need a little more sharpen. And let's this one goes all the way down, so we want to get that wood colored all the way. Okay, grab the green ochre, like the same colors we did in the other tree. Nice and sharp. But this one, I don't think we need the blender. I'm going to see if I can blend it with this green ochre, because it's so fine, these branches, and I don't want to go all the way into the black with the blender stick. Working that in. I'm gonna do a little more of the chestnut. You can do this any way you want. You can just use one brown if you want. You can use the same 3 colors we did in the other trio, which I'm doing. You can use just 2 colors. As long as you have the technique down, it doesn't really matter how you do it. Go to the umber again. And there's a train going by. Always when I'm on camera, every time. Oh, we have an Amtrak a few blocks away. That's why. Okay, and then green ochre again for the final blend. I'm going to use the green ochre to blend everything together with pressure. So here we go. Hold on to your paper. Now we're using the color as the blender instead of the blender stick. All the way down. Get your crumbs off as needed. Okay, excellent. So we are done with those. Let's go ahead and do the little porch steps. For the porch steps, I added 2 little grays. I added 20% cool gray and 20% warm gray. Sharpen them both. Warm gray is going to seem a little darker. And all I'm going to do for these steps, I'm going to take the darker one. I'm going to do every other step dark. Rotate the 2 colors. Okay, so there's do one, then skip one. Get that other color and do the other 2. There you go, real easy. That's all you had to do. Get those stones there. While you have your warm gray, you can add a few more lines to the road if you need it or anything like that. Add a little gray into your broom. Okay, so that's that. So we're gonna go ahead and do the lights in the moon. I'm really tempted to go use my black pencil over the sky. I think I might. I'm gonna grab, well, let's do the lights first. Okay, so we're gonna do the canary yellow. We'll do the canary yellow. Okay. And I'm gonna put this into this window, like this window here that's kind of curved at the top. I'm going to start in the left middle and do a diagonal. So just the top diagonal is yellow. Same with all these windows. Just doing the top corners. Then I have another yellow we can be getting some light out of. Okay. There's also windows above the door, looks like. Those ones are so small I can just color those straight on in. All right. Ooh, that works nicely. Another thing I'm doing with the yellow is you can go right over your yellow on the leaves, add in a little of that canary. It'll brighten things up a little. Let's see. Yeah, since I put that artist pen in there, now you put a little canary yellow on there. It's a nice look. Okay, so with this moon, I'm going to first gotta make sure there's no crumbs on it. I'm gonna swirl this kind of around the outside very lightly on one half circle side. So you see this? So like the left side, we're just doing like a half circle. Okay, now get your lemon yellow. And I'm gonna blend that in to that other yellow and keep following, closing that circle up. And I'll leave a little bit of white right there on the right side to put in a little tad of my gray. Okay, so we're blending. We'll come back to that in just a second. Now let's finish off these windows with this lemon yellow, with a little bit of white space left under each piece of glass. This is a lighter yellow, so it looks a little more natural than like solid color, and almost can see a little bit of white right there. Good, I like that. Yeah, anywhere you need to add. All right, grab your light gray, or the 20% cool gray we're doing for the step. I'm just gonna swirl in a little bit of that here where it was kind of white. Very gently and kind of not in any particular pattern. A little bit on this corner. And then take your lemon yellow again, blend over that gray. Oops, got some on my paper. I put my pencils right there, hold that down. And put a little more gray in right there. You can do a couple of darker spots. It looks more like a moon. Hazy, a little bit of clouds almost over the moon. I think that's perfectly fine. I'm going to take my canary and just go a little bit more around the edge. Pops out a little more. There we go. Yeah, and I think that's it. So for the sky, I have to do her eyes. I'm going to do a little something in the sky too. I'm going to take my red Pitt pen. Actually, I want to dab a little bit into this bush down here that has the magenta, the yellow bush. Put a little red on my Pitt pen onto that so it stands out a little more. All right, you can also take the red Pitt pen and a little bit of outline back into these bricks. You know, we soften the color around it. Then we can put it back in lightly so it'll look natural. Might look like they're dirty though, or faded, which is kind of what we wanted. I'm not doing much effort at touching it very much at all. Okay. Put my own little one in there. Let's get this little tower area, make that red right there. We can still go in with that little white stripe right above the door as well. I'm going to use a brown Pitt pen. And this railing, I feel like I had a hard time getting a good color coverage on the railing here. This brown Pitt pen is also good to dab in some stripes into your broom. Mine is running out of ink, so it actually probably works even better. More of a texture to it. Okay. Let's get a blue. I want to do her eyes blue, so I'm going to get a blue Pitt pen. Something bright. This one I'll do. Use any fine point pen you have to do her eyes, her irises. Blue eyes, red hair. Okay. Then she's got another star on that side of her cheek I didn't see before, so I'm going to put a little blue star, a brighter blue star, right here on her face. There we go. These can still be here, little dabs. And then these are just little details. So for the sky, hold on a second. The sky's a little tricky. If I can find my, let's see if this will work. That might work. I have a Papermate Flare. You can also use, let me see, my lemon artist pen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all these stars with this. Even if I did go in with the pencil, I would go around it. This one actually doesn't show quite as much as the Flare. Let's do this. Doing them kind of this yellow color. I need to give her eyelashes too. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I might want to go for even blacker sky with my black pencil, but it does tend to leave kind of a shiny look. Let's get over here. I mean, since it's already black, if we went over it with the black Prismacolor, it'll just look like a richer black. We don't have to put in that much effort because we're not trying to cover white space. Trying to get every little star here yellow. Here. I might go in with a white gel pen and add some of my own later. All right. So let me show you how we're going to do her eyelashes. We're going to take a micron fine liner. There's different ways. I have a Le Pen Flex. These are good for journaling and whatnot. Her eyes are pretty darn small. If you do too thick, it's not going to look natural. So I might use my other pen. This black micron I use for everything. 0.45 is going to be best for the lower eyelashes, and the black around her white eye, center of her eye. I'm going to go around and then do little eyelashes with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My pen is drying out. Oh, hold the paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. do the top part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little spidery eyelashes, spider legs. There we go. Touch up with this black pen on her hat if you need to, or anywhere. Eyebrows. Yeah, even this one was almost too thick, but that looks good enough. It makes your eyes kind of stand out, and it kind of makes them look like little spider webs, which I kind of like that look. And then I want us to grab a white gel pen and a black pencil. I have to deal with the crisis, but I have a couple of white pens, depending on what's going to work. My white Arteza gel pen. I'm just going to put a little white to make her teeth look whiter right in the middle and around her pupil. Okay. I'm going to put a little white dot on each of her nails. Kind of more like skeleton nails. Little design. Helps them stand out more too. Little white dot on each of the 4 crisscross bands on her dress here. Stitching. Might put a couple of dots up here on her hat belt. Kind of melds in with the sky a little bit. And we can actually just use this gel pen to do right up here. You can use any white gel pen that's not dried out. You'll have to test it on a dark piece of paper to see if the ink's flowing or not. That looks great. So then what I was thinking is I'm going to take my couple more things we can do. I have here a gold jelly roll. I wonder if I can... Yeah, so if you want to give a little sense of like magic to this picture, you can use sparkles on the tree. We can make her hat sparkle. I usually do add a little bit of sparkle on the moon, which I'm going to do here with my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. Just going to dab that in here so it sparkles up. I'm going to add a little to her shiny belt, the silver part. Make it sparkle more, and then the belt up here too. Okay. So I have, all I have left of my little black pencil, my Prismacolor black, because I use it so much. I want to just kind of see what's going to happen. Hold my paper down. I'm going to put a little black up in this corner. I'm going to go over the black with the black. I'll test it over here and just see if that looks much better. See, it definitely looks a little more vibrant. You want to add a little of this black with your very sharp black pencil in some small areas. Is not a bad plan. I would keep it all going one direction. Let's do this one down here. Here. And go between these leaves, around these little stars. Just kind of weave in the black pencil over the black. It's going to look a little more dark, a little more rich, a little more nighttime. Totally optional. You don't have to do this. Or just do some of these areas if you want. Yeah. So it's really just a final. Let's get a little bit around her over here. Hopefully you have more pencil left than I do. I have a 6-pack of black and a 6-pack of white because I go through them so much, you know. And you can use them for no matter what other set you're using, but I don't know where I put them to go pull one out of there, so that's really helpful. I just hurt my fingers a little. Yeah, so we're just kind of making it look a little more rich. Around the stars and everything. My Prismacolor sharpener. I'm going to try to get over here via the trees. Let's go up here. Kind of going around the little stars. Pretty easy. Yeah, you can see the difference for sure. So I do think this was a good idea to add this in. Going down around all these little stars. It almost looks like, since I might not be getting every space, you see almost like a little bit of the lighter and the darker red together, kind of like that cottony look when you first lay color on a white page. But I kind of like the effect. It looks almost like magical, if that makes sense. Let me give it a little sharpen. Should have found my other black pencil before I started, but this is our last thing we are doing. Sometimes I like to touch a little bit of sparkle in the light coming from the windows. Okay, let's get up here by our witch hat. You could even do a midnight blue or the darkest cool gray if you don't have black. Really, I think like this black background that comes in the book is more like the dark cool gray. It's not stark enough to be a black. It's not like an ebony or a dark crow black, midnight black kind of scenario. I'm going to also flatten my book for a couple days from this curling. It's from all the wear and tear of my arm being on it. Get some real heavy coffee table books or some pots and pans. Put the book on a hard floor, like a tile or kitchen or bathroom. Put very heavy objects on it and leave it for a couple of days. That should fix the issue. I have had to do that many, many times since I've been coloring. Yeah, and this black is allowing us to go right around the stars too. It's not even when I'm accidentally going on it, it's not covering it up, which is kind of interesting. All right, did I get down here? I thought I did. We'll take our white gel pen and put in a little more celestial, maybe some silver sparkle in the sky. Showing you how I do all my finishing touches here. Okay. There we go. It looks nice. It almost looks like it's raining down black. It's really interesting. So then I'm going to get a white pen. Get my white Posca. Making you a few dabs of this white to be stars. Ah, that's a comet. Can't believe how many trains go by on the weekend. There's a lot of Amtrak travel going on. I don't hear it during the week, really. Oh, must be before I get up in the morning. There we go. Looks great. That Posca pen really put some of those twilighties back in there. And then I might want to show you how to do a little bit of sparkle stickles on your finger in the sky. Okay, we are at the end of our witch journey. I grabbed a few stickles so I can try to show you something you can do. I have a black diamond, a gold, a clear, which is just sparkle with no color, and the silver, which is good for celestial. If we want to dab a little bit of that, I tend to want to do a little bit of the silver over the moon. So I'm going to put it on my finger. And I'm going to dab it. Which kind of spreads it around. And then that's it. Just leave it. Don't keep doing it. You don't want to leave a fingerprint there. Okay, now we can also do some more on our finger. You can easily do some onto the sky as well. A few different spots. Just kind of dab it in there. You'll be able to see it better in the light, but it gives it a little more dimension. Let's do a little bit of the black diamond. Put some on my finger. This is a color I use a lot, actually. I'm gonna put some here, 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 here. It also makes it look kind of like a little shadowy in the sky, like some areas are darker than others. Kind of spooky kind of a scenario. Yeah, and that's a good little look. And then you can even touch in some of the gold. You can even touch in some of the gold on the tree if we want it to look a little magical. I've done that before. Got some gold on my finger. Try to dab it in a few other places. I haven't dabbed anything yet. Yeah, like you can squeeze some onto your finger. You can put a little onto the tree. Give it a gold little bit of, it'll just look like it has some gold little fairy dust on it. Put some more on your finger. Onto the tree. Because it's more of a magical effect, you know, because the witch is standing here. She has magic, I assume. Anything around her becomes magical. A little more. Hold it down. If you don't have these, don't even worry about doing this, but I've slowly buy a couple new Soucolors each month until I ended up with a huge bin of them, and I use them almost every picture. The gold and the silver and the black and the clear, I think are the most used, you know, for like skies and stars and ornaments, jewelry, that kind of thing. Yeah, so we got a little bit of a sparkly tree here. And you just kind of go around and dab it like this. It'll dry pretty quick. It starts getting a little sticky. Get off the grass. Put as much or as little on as you'd like. I'm going to do a little more. I want my tree to be super magical, because I love magic. And then we'll put all this gold onto this in the sky as well. We might even want to do a little on the top of the church. I'm gonna put some on my finger. I'm gonna put some on top of the church. It's almost like the witch comes by and everything gets lit up with her magic dust. Okay. I might put a little bit more in the sky here, the gold. I'll put a little more on this house. Church, I mean, the church. Gotta let this lay out and dry overnight before you decide to try to flatten your book. Is there any areas where I could use a little more glitter? Right around here, up here. All right, everyone. So sometimes I'll put that black diamond one on on the witch's shoes. But I think we'll just make more of the area she's in look magical, not so much on her itself. Add a little bit more. I can even add a little bit onto the road. I think it's just sprinkled with her magic dust. There we go. A little bit onto the road. A little bit over here, right by this road. Might put a tad of gold around the moon. There we go. Now I think that's probably about all I need to do. Let me look at it up close. Now of course we have to let it dry. Okay, you can't see, you can see some of that sparkle. You see it? Let me move this. You can see some of that sparkle if I turn it. See it in the sky too, on the moon, on the rooftop. So yeah, we create kind of a little magical field for the witch. I tried to overdo it because I want the eye to go to certain places. Ideally, she should put a little magic on her dress, or you can put a little bit of that black diamond on her shoes. In fact, let's just do that. Sometimes I'll just right at the end of her shoes, right there. There we go. You can use the pointy part of the stickle to come along the heel of her shoe, trace it, and use the tip to dab it in a little. All the way down, we can make it look like her shoe is actually kind of a 3D effect. Let's trace it. I'm just going to dab this in, and I'm going to make her whole shoe be nice and glossy. Ooh, that looks nice. Since this is a thinner paper, we got to really be careful and let this sit and dry. This also can look really good on nails if you want the nails glossy. I do see a few things I need to touch up on her face. That can wait till later. You can do the little sparkle dots right on her face. Carefully. She had one on her ear. And sometimes you can add these accents on the dress or on the nails or something like that. There's a lot of things you can do. But we put the little white dots already on there, so we don't need to put it on her little crisscross area. But this can look nice on fingernails as well. But we did do some white on her nails. So yeah, it's just some little details and fun accents. So we are all done. I hope you had a great time coloring this beautiful Coco Wyo Field Witch. I'll be doing more pages in this book as time goes on, so keep it nearby and share your pictures, your final results in the Facebook group. See you in the next video.